I'm singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. I have a quirk. I call it spontaneous singing. I break out into song for no apparent reason. But you're not here for that. You want a story, right? Well, my story has to do with singing, in a way. See, I love music, especially Broadway music, and it's always been my dream to go to New York. Well, last year, I decided to make that dream a reality. I worked and I saved, and finally, by October, I had enough money for the trip. There was only one obstacle: parental approval. Please, Mom and Dad, I really want to go. Joanna, my dad said, I just don't think you're old enough. But Daddy, I am 16, going on 17, no longer a little girl. I will beware, be canny and careful out in the big wide world. My parents just looked at one another and rolled their eyes. But finally, my dad gave in. Oh, all right. But I don't want you talking to any strange people or going to any strange places. Cross my heart, Dad. Then my mom chimed in. Joanna, I have just the thing for you. And she ran over to the closet. She pulled out a long black wool cape. This is my opera cloak. You can wear it to the theater. Look, it even has a secret pocket for your tickets. Well, the morning of my departure finally arrived, and my parents drove me to the train station. And as I sat there, gazing out the window, the conductor came by to punch my ticket. Beautiful morning out there. And then I felt it rising in my stomach and up to my throat. The singing, I couldn't stop it. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Whatever, he said and kept walking. It was a long journey, all the way from my little town in Maryland to New York City. But finally, the train pulled into Penn Station. I jumped off the platform and made my way to the heart of it all, 42nd Street and Broadway. The sun was setting beyond the skyline, and all the lights of the city began to sparkle. As I stood on that famous street corner, I felt magic in my heart. And then I felt something else. The singing. I couldn't stop it. Tonight, tonight won't be just any night. Tonight there will be no morning star. As I stood there, lost in my reverie, I felt a cool breath on my neck. I was enveloped by a long, dark shadow, and I heard a deep voice in my ear. Nighttime sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. I looked and was shocked to see a tall man wearing a white mask. Good evening, he said. I am sorry to disturb you, but I would like to ask a small favor. I have suffered an unfortunate encounter with a knife, and my cape is torn. would you be kind enough to loan me yours? His voice was seductive. His eyes were mesmerizing. I couldn't speak, so I just nodded. He untied my cape and placed his torn cloak over my shoulders. And then, before I could do anything, the man had vanished. Just then it hit me. My tickets, my money, it was all in the secret pocket of my cloak. Oh, I stood there, despondent, alone, thinking, I'm on my own, with no one here beside me. All alone, I wait here in the moonlight. Just then, I heard another strange voice. Whenever I see someone less fortunate than I, and let's face it, who isn't less fortunate than I, my tender heart tends to start to bleed. I looked and saw a woman dressed in a pink shimmering gown, holding a wand. And I began to wonder whether everyone in New York shared my singing disorder. Who are you? I asked. Dear, I'm Glinda, the Good Witch. Who are you? Where are you from? And why are you crying? I'm Joanna. I'm from Maryland. And I'm crying because a tall man in a white mask just stole all of my tickets and money. Oh, well, that's a tough one. If you wanted to get home quickly, tap your heels 3 times. But I don't know what to tell you. Oh, here comes Elphaba. She'll know what to do. Just then, from across the street, I saw a woman dressed in black with a tall pointed hat and a green face coming out of a Walgreens. Linda, help me glue these fingernails back on. These darn things are always coming off. Then she noticed me. Who are you? Elphaba, this is Joanna. She comes from the land of Maryland, and she needs our help. The Phantom has stolen her tickets. I see he's playing a few tricks tonight. Well, I know what to do. And she grabbed my arm. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. He is a whiz of a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. And she whisked me down the street into a long, dark alley. And at the end of the alley, there was a door. And above the door were the letters O-Z. I started to remember my dad's warnings about strange people in strange places, but it was too late. The witches pushed me inside. What an odd spectacle. I was surrounded by every character from every Broadway show I'd ever seen or heard of. Why, there was Evita and the Jersey Boys and Little Orphan Annie. Just then, a boy with tattered clothes and a dirty face approached. Hello, lass. Why the glum face? I don't know, I said. I just feel a little out of place here. Oh, not to worry. Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. And he led me over to a small, officious man wearing an emerald green suit. This must be the wizard, I thought. But at that moment, I was pulled away by a powerful force. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. It was the Phantom. He swept me onto the dance floor, and I felt as if I could have danced all night, I could have danced all night, and still have begged for more. But then the music ended, and the phantom was leaving again. I cried out desperately, think of me fondly when we've said goodbye. But it was too late. He was already gone. Then I noticed something. I was wearing my own cloak. Quickly, I checked the secret pocket. All of my tickets were there. And not just my tickets, tickets to every show on Broadway. Then the witches approached. How nice to see you smiling, dear, said Glinda. I see the Phantom of the Opera has given you a few treats to make up for his trick, commented Elphaba dryly. I'm so glad the Phantom came to the party this year. He's so clever. Wait, I said. Wait, this is a party? Well, duh, did you think we were crazy or something? Dear, Glinda said, this is the annual Broadway Actors Halloween party. We come not just in costume, but in character, too. I was so relieved. I wasn't going insane. And I was also in awe of all of the actors around me. Well, needless to say, the next week was the best week ever. I spent the whole time going to all of the shows on Broadway, and the Phantom had gotten me front row seats and backstage passes, so I got to know all of the actors. But too soon, my time came to leave. Before I had to go, though, I took one final stroll down Broadway, and without any inhibitions, I sang. I had often dreamed of this street before, but I never dreamed of all the friends I'd meet before. All at once have I had to say goodbye.